Welcome to the 2024 Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation Festival Edition. My name is Kelly Devine. I am the head programmer of the film festival, and I will be joined by Nina Strike, the founder and festival director, in conversation today with Mariah Botkin. She is part of the film A Bridge to Life that you will be able to see at the 2024 Film Festival. In-person screenings beginning September 17th and running through the 22nd. And our virtual program begins September 23rd and ends on the 29th. All the information about our other events and how to get tickets to see A Bridge to Life can be found at our website, peacefilmfest.org. But now let's welcome Mariah to the conversation. How are you, Mariah? Thanks for being with us.
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about the film today.
Hi, Mariah. We are excited to have you, and let's just start out by talking about the film. Tell us about it.
Yeah, happily. So, the film A Bridge to Life is about the Bridge Ministry, which is a group based in Virginia, and they are doing a lot of work to help men who are facing life-threatening addiction issues, as well as incarceration. Um, and the Bridge Ministry um, basically teach these men through a year-long program vocational skills. They also have like a spiritual and psychological mentoring component, and this is all within a really serene and beautiful rural camp setting to really help the men reflect and reassess. Um, and the success of the program is just wonderful. So it has a recidivism rate of less than 5%, where the national average is over 70%. And part of this film, interspersed throughout it, is um, clips and messages from the founder and director, William Washington. And he founded the Bridge Ministry, I believe it was around 32 years ago. And he had a really traumatic past and faced a lot of abuse, which led him to a life of um, a teenage, being a teenager, homeless on the streets of Virginia, dealing and selling drugs. And it wasn't until he was facing a long-term prison sentence when a judge offered him a chance to enter into a program instead of prison, that he really saw his life turn around. And he was so moved and inspired by this experience that he began to bring other men into his home to help them change their lives. And this then turned into what is the Bridge Ministry today, which has been doing this amazing work and helping the community. And really, it's just a film that touches on second chances and the power of love and compassion in fostering social change. And it's just fabulous to be a part of it. So
Oh, that's wonderful. This film is directed by Chris Farina, and this is not the first of Chris's films that we've had. And one of the things that really attracts us to Chris's work is something that you touched on in, the compassion and the humanity that he finds in all of his subjects and that he brings out. Um, so, how did you, though, in your capacity, uh, with the film, how did you come to be involved in this particular project, and what were your motivations to take on this particular film?
yeah. Well, I think like I've always really believed in storytelling being a vessel for change. And I think Chris and I are so aligned with this idea that empathy and emotion, creating an emotional connection between people is really one of the most effective ways to do that. And so I just really was inspired by Chris and hearing and seeing the work that he was doing. Just hearing about his story, meeting the Bridge Ministry, and hearing about his past films and seeing them and like the amazing work that he does to support his community and shine a light on these unsung heroes was really moving and touching to me, and I just wanted to be a part of that that project and help him to create change. And we've really shared similar goals throughout the project in wanting to really spark conversations about how to make incarceration and addiction recovery oriented around compassion and kindness and fairness and humanity as well. And, you know, having those shared goals has really made working with him really, really wonderful. Um, yeah.
Well, let me ask you the following question. Whenever you are approaching a documentary subject, you always have to be concerned about how, you know, the respect with which the subjects are treated. And that's another hallmark of Chris's work, that he is so respectful and builds such a bond of trust. And I think one of the things that is remarkable about this film, and I think one of the things that in another conversation that we had with Chris, that there are a lot of stigmas attached to people who are going through addiction. And, you know, and certainly these men who are going through this particular program, and William Washington himself, are really very open about their own stories and their own, you know, journeys. And so, you know, can you talk about, you know, how that level of respect, making sure that these people were protected in terms of the process, and how that helped create this really inspiring, you know, story for people, you know, to take back with them.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that's really clear in the film and just generally about what Chris aims to do is he just wants to listen and observe the story that's being that's sort of unfolding before him. He doesn't really go in with an agenda. He doesn't go in, you know, trying to take something or get something from someone, right? He just immerses him. He really just immersed himself in this environment, this camp, over the course of many, many months, you know, in his own way, building a relationship with William and Jay James and the residents of the camp too, but also just, you know, not just listening and letting them show him what the story is, you know, through their own lived experiences. And I think what really shines through in the film is just the sense of shared humanity and, you know, how we're all not so different after all. And I think it's not even something he tries to do, it's just he allows people to open up so honestly and captures those moments. Um, and yeah, I think that that's really demonstrated in the film. And you know, just to add to the social impact and the goals of the film beyond, you know, helping uh, you know, helping to tear down these stereotypes that we have about people who face incarceration and struggle with addiction and all of that, is just how critical this film is coming at a time right now when we are in a national crisis of addiction. You know, last year, over 100,000 people died from drug overdose. And so this is such a big issue that requires such careful attention and empathetic attention as well. And I think Chris is such an amazing uh, person who's really demonstrated how to tell, you know, these people's story.
It's so important, and that really aligns with the mission of the festival, which is about, you know, we say that the mission of our film festival, unlike traditional film festivals, which are organized around the craft of filmmaking, ours is organized around the impact that art can have on people. So we feel that our work starts when the lights come up and everyone's standing a little taller in their seat saying, what can I do? So can you tell us, you know, are there things that that you would hope the audience would take away from the experience, or resources that they might seek out?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, just I hope people take away a little bit of a greater sense of humanizing those who we so often stereotype. I hope they also take away the message to really listen to those around them. And I think, people can also take the time to educate themselves on the things that lead to addiction and incarceration and recidivism, and do more research and learning, and be really curious about what they don't know, and how they can better support from that. And I think another huge thing is to just advocate for policies that are more compassionate to those who struggle with addiction and incarceration. And those are really, bigger things that people can take away, and bigger actions that they can take. And I think, you know, the smallest thing that anyone can do after watching this film is to just be a little bit kinder and show a little bit more love. Chris has said before that William Washington has this gift of love. And I think that's really something that makes him so successful and so able to connect with these men who are facing life threatening issues. And so, you know, I hope people leave the film and they just feel this sense of connectedness to those around them, and love, and a willingness to listen and just be a little bit kinder, because it really makes all the difference, and it's such an easy thing to do.
That really comes through so much in the film, just that kind of love and that positive energy that exudes from William Washington. So what can people do to support this film? What's happening with the film, and what's coming next?
Yeah, so we're currently trying to bring the film to as many communities as possible. Um, so we're looking at scheduling some more theatrical screenings in the future, and also, participating in additional film festivals. Our really big goals right now are to just get the film in front of as many policymaker eyes as possible, because that's really a great way to start creating some change, and hopefully some replication of the program, and show people that this is something that's really working. Why can't we bring this to other communities? And we're also working with partners to help bring the film to schools and prisons, and just to as many local and national groups as possible, to continue this conversation and hopefully make it as accessible for everybody. I think a huge, a lot of people have a lot of fear when it comes to talking about something like incarceration or addiction. And, I think what Chris does so amazingly with the film is he doesn't scold or shame anyone for not um, knowing how to, be the perfect person in the world. But really, he just inspires people to want to think about these issues a little bit more. And I think that that's, the goal. And then on top of all this, Chris, as is really struggling right now. He was diagnosed with ALS, back in 2022, late stage respiratory ALS. So we have not been able to make the immediate big impact that we, I think, would have liked to make, or, as filmmakers always want to make. So any support is just huge in helping us. We're entering another round of fundraising. So, fund donations always the biggest thing with indie documentary filmmaking, and I'm sure other filmmakers will know. But just following us on social media, we were at a Bridge to Life movie, supporting or hosting screenings of the film, and then the biggest thing that makes a difference for us is just helping spread the word and, sharing the movie with people and talking about it, and just rallying support around Chris and the Bridge Ministry and the amazing work that they're both doing.
Well, certainly people will be richly rewarded for seeing A Bridge to Life. Uh, the message of love and compassion just shines through this film. And I found also, I think for people who, and unfortunately too many people are experiencing addiction in their own families or in their own lives, I think they will be very surprised at the particular approach of this film. It's very different from typical films, so I think people will really come away feeling uplifted for having seen it. So, thank you, Mariah, for speaking with us today and giving us some background information about the film. And again, for everyone listening, the film is A Bridge to Life. If you want to learn more about the film and how to support it, please go to abridgetolife.com for more information or follow them on social media. And please, if you are in the Florida area, please join us at our film festival, which begins September 17th and runs through September 22nd. Our virtual programs begin immediately following, starting September 23rd and ending on the 29th. All of the information about all of our programs can be found at peacefilmfest.org. We thank you so much for joining us and look forward to seeing you at our next Glow. Thank you.
Thank you.